To this week's debate, brought to you by SABC News. Tonight, we are here, and the people who are going to help us understand what's going on at the Plaajte municipality, but perhaps more importantly, for you guys to get an opportunity to tell the nation what it is exactly that you hope to do or that you would do if you were to win this municipality come the August the 3rd local government elections. Well, our panelists, I'll start with the ANC. It's Dave Molusi, who is also the current mayor. Welcome, sir.
Thank you very much.
And of course, next to him is the DA's provincial leader, Mr. Andrew Lowe. Welcome to you too, sir.
Good afternoon.
And to my left is, of course, Charles Petmore from the Congress of the People. Welcome to you too, sir.
Welcome.
And if I may also welcome the EFF's Aubrey Bartman. Welcome to you too, sir. Well, gentlemen, I'm going to give each one of you exactly 1 minute just to briefly take us through what it is that your party stands for, and perhaps more importantly, in the context of what we will be doing here tonight, what it is exactly that you hope to bring to the attention of the people of Plaajte and indeed South Africa. I'll start with you, sir.
Thanks. Good evening, listeners. What the EFF, Economic Freedom Fighters Municipality, first of all, we will make sure that services is being delivered to all communities, basic services, like the Constitution is saying in Section 153. Then secondly, we will allocate land equitably to all residents in the municipality and not just to certain people get access to land. Then thirdly, we will abolish the tender system and making sure then also establish our own municipal entities of making sure that out of this, that job creation will be created, because why? We will have this job creation inside, not giving it to contractors. So out of that, we will make sure of that. And out of that job creation, we will then also make sure that the people in that municipality, EFF municipalities' lives will be bettered, and they will be in a position of making sure that they even pay their services and rents and taxes.
Thank you very much. Mr. Petmore.
Thank you, Will. Government with the people. COPE will set up partnership structures in every local government to ensure that we harness the skills and resources of all capable South Africans to tackle the challenges of service delivery and development capability and meaningfully at the local government level. COPE will ensure that all residents are made fully aware of all local government institutions and associations so that they can actively participate in their activities and hold them accountable. COPE believes in the right of the people to be kept fully informed.
Thank you very much. Mr. Lowe.
Good evening, and thank you very much for the opportunity that we have this afternoon. The offer and the promise of the Democratic Alliance is quite simple. The DA's offer for local government 2016 is very simple, and therefore, where we govern, we want to continue to make progress. We still have a lot to do. However, we want to make sure that we actually bring real change that is possible. Where we do not govern, we want to bring change that will change the lives of ordinary South Africans, especially people of our province, so that we can move forward again. Change that will stop corruption, that will create jobs, and that will deliver better services to everybody. So that is what the Democratic Alliance, our intentions are for the elections 2016.
Thank you very much. Mr. Molusi.
Well, the ANC government has led the transformation of local government for the last 2 decades. And there is no doubt that we are now moving towards a developmental state. Plaajte municipality has in fact done very, very well. we are considered amongst the better performing municipalities in South Africa. We are financially stable, and we are rated amongst the top 5 viability, in terms of viability, by the Ratings Africa. So there is no doubt that everybody should be voting for the African National Congress come the 3rd of August.
Well, thank you very much. Well, if I may start this time with you, Mr. Lowe. Is Mr. Molusi right? He says this municipality is one of the best, and they have proven that.
Well,
maybe I should add this. When he was appointed mayor a few years ago, just to quote you, you said that you think he has the interests of Sol Plaajte at heart, and you are welcoming his appointment. Has it disappointed you?
Well, it's important firstly for me just to contextualize that, because I think it is important. And you are spot on when you quote that extract, because that was a media statement that I've released. However, one must also bear in mind, at that stage, Mr. Molusi was my colleague in the provincial legislature, as a member of the provincial legislature. And obviously, it stands for reason that every person should be afforded a fair opportunity.
Has it changed since then?
Well, unfortunately not. That was the expectation, but unfortunately not.
Okay. Let's hear from you. Cope, is the ANC correct? This is a viable municipality, financially stable, and they've done all the things that they could do.
Vuyo, I think the mayor has been very economical with the truth. Currently in our municipality, and the mayor can attest to that only from January this year to date, we had not less than 10 service delivery protests. Almost every month, we are having service delivery protests in this municipality. Now, if the mayor is so confident about doing what the municipality is supposed to do, then we don't know where and why service delivery protests. Unless if the mayor can explain to us as to why the service, because we know people are protesting because of lack of services. And as we speak, service delivery protests are looming. We might have some of them this coming week. So go back to Durban with the mayor.
Mr. Batman, well, Cope and the DA have had an opportunity of serving in the council. They have observed the ANC. Probably they are best placed than the rest of us to actually. They would have observed what the ANC has done over the past 5 years. You're the new kids on the block. From where you're sitting, from outside, looking into the municipality, what have you observed?
Now, the mayor is correct that the municipality is financially viable. He's definitely correct about it. But he's spending the money wrongly. He's spending the money wrongly. You see, the budget of the Sol Plaajte municipality is 1.8 billion rand. That is, and they are not spending on service delivery. In Ward 6 right now, or in Ward 17, or in Lorato Park, or in Rodepan. There isn't basic services. That doesn't be, and that's why we are saying it's time for change in the municipality of Sol Plaajte. And we will make sure that this 1.8 billion rand is being spent on basic services for our communities.
Okay, we're going to give the ANC a chance to respond to some of the things that you have said. but we're going to take a quick ad break. But do remember that you at home, that you can, of course, log on to our website, our elections website. It's www.elections.sabc.co.za. You can also, when you're watching the program at home, tweet. The hashtag is elections on SABC. Elections on SABC. The other hashtag is SABC elections. We're going to take a quick ad break. This debate continues right after this.
One other person has been shot dead and another is in a critical condition in hospital.
The CRL has laid charges against controversial televangelist Paseka Mutsoneng.
More than 1.3 million South Africans have been added in the past 2 registration weekends.
The International Monetary Fund warns that policy uncertainty could dampen economic growth in South Africa.
And all eyes are on the new Bok coach, Alistair Coetzee, his challenge to keep everyone in the country happy.
Usisiwe Jamsana, SABC News, Alice.
Mzondi Lembe, SABC News, Doha, Qatar.
Kunatibingwa SABC News, Alice.
Diabo Seto, SABC News, Geneva, Switzerland.
Nompumelelo Siziba, SABC News, Moscow, Russia.
Sherwin Bryce-Pease, SABC News, New York.
Craig Murray, SABC News, Stellenbosch.
We bring the news back home. We keep the nation fully informed.
Usisiwe Jamsana, SABC News, Alice.
Mzondi Lembe, SABC News, Doha, Qatar.
Kunatibingwa SABC News, Alice.
Diabo Seto, SABC News, Geneva, Switzerland.
Nompumelelo Siziba, SABC News, Moscow, Russia.
Sherwin Bryce-Pease, SABC News, New York.
Craig Murray, SABC News, Stellenbosch.
We bring the news back home. We keep the nation fully informed.
Welcome back. You're watching the Sunday Live Battlegrounds 2016 election debates. And tonight, we're coming to you from the city that sparkles, Kimberley, that is. Let me give you an opportunity, let me give the ANC an opportunity to respond to perhaps some of the comments that were made by your fellow panelists here. Disappointed that you didn't live up to their expectations. They gave you a chance. They spoke well of you before you started. But if the DA's comments is anything to go by, you've become a disappointment.
Well, Vuyo, after a decade of disclaimers, this municipality is now sitting with an unqualified audit report. This is an indication that we have focused on important issues, one of them being governance. With regard to governance, we have managed to ensure that all committees are meeting regularly as they are supposed to. And I must indicate that at no stage did the mayoral committee and the council ever postpone its meeting. That is an indication that we're stable.
Now, the EFF is not arguing with you on those points. It says, however, they believe you are delivering to the wrong people. You're not delivering where you're supposed to deliver.
I'm coming to that one, Avio. I'm coming to that point. We have a clear program that we have actually utilized the bulk of our monies in the infrastructure development programs. We have refurbished our current water treatment plants both in Kimberley as well as in Ritchie and Beaconsfield. We have ensured that the bulk of the monies is actually going towards service delivery. We have purchased new vehicles, it is a fact. We have even bought the best vehicles in order to unblock the sewer system.
So you've delivered where it matters. Okay? Let's then well, as everyone knows, Kimberley doesn't have the advantage that the metropolitan areas, which we've been doing debates on over the past 5 weeks, have been able to do, where there are motor car industries in places like KZN and Tshwane and the Nelson Mandela Bay. Those big municipalities have a strong revenue base. They are very vibrant industries, so they are able to, by and large, create jobs, or the private sector that is there is able to create jobs. But a place like Kimberley, what does one do? How do we create jobs so that people do not depend on either handouts or entirely on the municipality to deliver services? Any idea?
Well, I already touched on that point of job creation. You see, this process of tenders for PLs, if you have your own in-service entity, just let's make an example of maintaining the roads. There's an entity in the municipality with staff, with people there, not when it is elections. Then now there's a cleaning project and now the potholes must be done and things like that. That will be sustainable jobs at the end of it. That's road pavings. Most of our roads in Galatoe and Rodepan is not being paved. It's not EPWP when elections is coming. That will be sustainable jobs when we are paving these roads or tar these roads with our own staff in the municipality. And that will create jobs. You don't need big industrials. I'm saying again and I'm repeating. The budget is 1.8 billion rand. What are they doing with that money? You see, the MIC funding, the municipality received 47 million rand from MIC for this project the mayor is pointing out now. It's not their own money. It's money from the government. So where is the money of the ratepayers and the services being paid?
Mr. Petmo.
Thank you, Vuyo.
What would you do to create jobs if you were to take over?
No, it's very important, Vuyo, that we first of all agree with the mayor that the municipality is financially very stable. What the mayor doesn't tell us is why they're not services, because the municipality has got money. In our municipality, we're sitting for the past 5 or more years with redundant people. And what causes the redundant people is every mayor that takes over comes with his own people, and the rest of the people remains in office without having any work to do. Now, creating jobs, it's very important. Promoting economic growth and development. Congress of the People strongly support participatory budgeting as practical in Brazil. This follows ordinary people to decisive how to allocate or give a reserved part of municipal budget. Vuyo, in our area, we've got a lot of opportunities. Currently, our municipality is paving roads, which there is no need to pave them. The simple reason for it is so that someone could get a tender. And we know how the tender system operates. Now we are saying, get away with this, get away with consultants in the municipality. We've got departments who can employ people. But most of the departments...
So you agree with the EFF?
I agree with the EFF that let's do away with...
Let's hear from you, Mr. Low. How do we create jobs in the Plaajte municipality?
Vuyo, I think the most important thing that we need to understand firstly, that generally municipalities are not meant to create jobs. Municipalities are purely just the vehicle to create a conducive environment so that jobs can be created, which means jobs can only be created by the private sector. Unfortunately, Plaajte municipality does not make the situation conducive for people to come and create jobs here, simply because of a number of factors. Earlier on, we have referred to the issue of, it really surpasses my understanding that the mayor could say that things have changed. The lives of ordinary people in Plaajte, Kimberley has not changed. Because not very far from where we are right now, everywhere in these roads where you travel, it's potholes for Africa. And the most important thing that we must also bear in mind forever is the fact that it's only now that it's election time that all of a sudden we see that an effort is made so that roads can be paved. The problem that we see often happens from year after year is the fact that people are demonstrating their unhappiness. People are completely disillusioned. And yes, indeed, me and many other people, we had a lot of hope that Mr. Mulusi, as the mayor, would have changed the lives of many people. Unfortunately, that did not happen. However, let me say this before I step down. It is a fact that the DA, where the DA governs in DA municipalities, that the DA delivers 9 out of the 10 best municipalities in South Africa are governed by the Democratic Alliance.
Mr. Mulusi.
Well, Vuyo, I want
maybe I should start by saying, correctly, the DA is correct that perhaps it's not your job to create jobs. However, you, as elected public representatives, you do, I think, have a responsibility to galvanize society, including business, including labor, civil society generally, to actually, so that everyone reads from the same page, so that there's no duplication, so that everyone agrees as to what are the priorities for the Plaajte municipality. Have you done that?
Vuyo, I want to get into the details thereof. I indicated earlier on that we've upgraded our infrastructure in terms of water, electricity, and sanitation. And this has attracted the building of 4 hospitals in Kimberley. Secondly, our current malls are being extended simply because of the environment becoming conducive as a result of the delivery of services that we have as a municipality. I want to go back to the roads. We have spent 35 million last year to fix our roads. And during the last budget, we have allocated an amount of 10 million in order to begin to fix our roads. As I speak to you now, you can go to Pinel, you can go to the Battle Road. There is operational work going on there in order to fix our roads.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mulusi. Well, time to take another quick ad break. This debate continues.
Today provide news updates giving a wealth of knowledge, breaking stories and crossing live for you. We follow business developments intensely. Experts and analysts tackle all challenging issues for you. We cover stories locally and abroad to keep you informed. We cover all sporting codes just for you. We are sure to give you weather to be ready for the day. Stay tuned to News Today at 3 p.m. from Monday to Friday on SABC News.
from the moment you start your day.
My biggest question is how I got myself here on time.
Yeah.
It's so early for a comedian, I gotta be honest.
We are there for you. We bring your morning into perspective.
As news breaks throughout the morning,
is an investment into the future of the airports company, but also the future of our children, the future of our country, the future of the transport sector.
We'll make sure that you get the full story.
Give us quality music.
Load shedding. Listen, this winter.
It's a thing of the past.
And you can count on the weather team with expertise.
Join us live at 6 a.m. daily.
Welcome back. You're watching the Sunday Live Battlegrounds 2016 election debates brought to you by SABC News. Do remember that you can, of course, follow our elections coverage by going to our website, www.elections.sabc.co.za. And as you are watching this program, you can, of course, have conversations with the rest of the country. The hashtags are SABC Elections, and the other one is Elections on SABC. If I may come back to you this time around, Mr. Molusi, and perhaps pick up from an issue that you raised, what it is that you are doing to make sure that you create that enabling environment that the Democratic Alliance was talking about. Now, a couple of years ago, there was a representation made to NESA about the tariffs, electricity tariffs, in Plaajte, where it was suggested that this municipality actually has the highest electricity tariffs, that you are making loads and loads of cash, on average 149.2% profit on what you pay to Eskom. And the result of that, it was argued at the time, would be that businesses won't be able to make money, which means jobs will be under threat, but also the poor will find it difficult to pay the rates. Have you done anything about that situation?
We have just conducted a study, and the study reveals that it is not true that we are the highest in terms of tariffs. Let me explain. It is common cause that in all municipalities, in calculating the tariffs, you take the basic energy rate as well as the normal rates, the two of them together. And we have found that in our municipality we've been transparent in that we combine the two rates, whereas in other municipalities have separated the rates. And this has given a perception that Kimberley or Solplaatje municipality is in fact charging the highest rate when it comes to electricity. Now, let me make an example. This year, NERSA was given 7.6% increase. We have decided that we will not go for 7.6%, but rather go for 7.5%. That is an indication that we are cognizant of the fact that we've got people who are poor in our area, and we need to take them into consideration.
Mr. Lowe?
Well, Vuyo, the one thing that really worries me today, it's a given fact, and the mayor knows that. You know, when you travel in our informal settlements here in Kimberley, places like the Rato Park, Colville, Floss, and Kgaleshewe, because those are places that we go to, we speak to people on the ground, people will tell you that the issue of the electricity tariffs is something that people are completely unhappy about. And as a result, the thing that is really worrisome is that here we're talking about the poor and those that really cannot afford. So I don't know whether the mayor is really the mayor of Solplaatje, because I can tell you people here in Kimberley and the surroundings, they are completely unhappy about the tariffs of electricity. And Plaajte indeed, Plaajte does charge the highest as far as we are concerned when it comes to electricity.
Thank you, Will. I think, Will, the reality is that our municipality is the most expensive municipality. Some of us are councillors, we do house visits, we go to our people, we talk to them. They can't simply afford the current rates. The mayor will agree, if he wish, that every now and then they cut electricity supply to the people because people can't simply afford. They simply can't afford to pay electricity. And the big problem we have with that is that leads even to illegal connections and all those, because people can't afford. And the mayor comes here and boasts about how financially stable the municipality is, but they are still ripping the people off.
Mr. Bartman, I think the question to you should perhaps be, what would you do?
The municipality is receiving 143 million rand for equitable share. Want to start there. Now, a portion of this equitable share is supposed to be subsidizing the poor people. This municipality doesn't do that. I want to start there. Now, I'm coming back also of saying the mayor is not telling the truth. They are still the highest, not just in electricity, also in rates and taxes. It's the highest in the country. And now I'm coming back to this process of saying what we must do. That 143 million rand we're receiving from national government, we will take a percentage of that, of making sure that the poor people doesn't have income. Those who are receiving allowances will all get subsidies from the EFF municipality. And it can be done, and it will be done in our municipality as such, because that is why that money is there. That's to sustain and assist the municipalities with the equitable share. That's equitable share. Most of the municipalities is using it now for operational funding and not for subsidizing the poor people.
I want to give you a chance to quickly respond, because everyone has said you are wrong. So where are they missing the point?
We have an indigent policy in place in the municipality. And this policy is actually there to cater for the poorest of the poor. We have actually even gone as far as including the child-headed homes in our policy to make sure that we do not actually leave anybody outside. And by qualifying, you then have the opportunity of actually getting 50 kilowatt of water every month, 6 kilowatt of water every month. And we have a flat rate that we charge for all the other services, which the poorest of the poor can actually benefit from. So we have actually moved, knowing very well that we are not equal. Others will actually not have the monies in order to pay the tariffs.
So you are delivering to the poor.
Absolutely.
And it's not true that you are the most expensive municipality.
Absolutely.
Even though you have been compared to others.
Absolutely. We do not. We separate the energy rate from the basic rate, and that is actually the challenge. That people think that we're actually the highest. We are transparent by doing so.
Okay. Time to take another quick ad break. This debate continues.
We are one of the 22 high-burden countries, and out of that we're number 6, following countries like India, China, and with huge population. Cough
night sweats, weight loss, and fever, and cough being the most important of those. So, and especially if the cough lasts for more than 3 weeks, then you really have to worry and get tested for TB.
The motivation is to affect behavior change, particularly with people who cough and who may be carrying the bacterium. So encouraging people to use the elbow.
For more on health, join your host Dr. Selo Motaung every Saturday from 9 to 10 a.m.
News Today provide news updates giving a wealth of knowledge. Breaking stories and crossing live for you. We follow business developments intensely. Experts and analysts tackle all challenging issues for you. We cover stories locally and abroad to keep you informed. We cover all sporting codes just for you. We are sure to give you weather to be ready for the day. Stay tuned to News Today at 3 p.m. from Monday to Friday on SABC News.
Welcome back. You're watching the Sunday Live Battlegrounds 2016 election debates brought to you by SABC News. Perhaps at this stage I should bring to everyone's attention, just to remind people where things are at the moment, or where in 2011, the ANC got 63.57% of the vote. The DA, 22.27. COPE, 11.9. And on the back of that, if one goes to, for example, a SALGA report, the last SALGA report to be issued on this municipality, more than 89% have electricity, 99% are supplied with piped water. More than 90% are being served by municipal refuse disposal arrangements, and a high proportion of the population in this municipality has access to flush sanitation. Now, the reason I'm putting these statistics on the table is because all municipalities belong to SALGA. And SALGA conducts these periodic researches. And all of you belong there, and you do vouch for the credibility of SALGA's reports and statistics. Now, from someone who reads what this report says and who listens to what Mr. Molusi says, it looks like all is well. But is it? I'm going to start with the DA this time.
Well, Vuyo, when reports have been compiled, and I just need to say this, that we don't doubt the credibility or even the authenticity of the SALGA report. However, what SALGA reports and what we encounter on the ground are two different things altogether.
How so?
Because, you see, when you look at, and let us not go very far, I think the previous speakers have already alluded to the fact that when you go to places like here in Lerato Park, when you go to the informal settlements here in Kimberley, there are way too many people who still don't have access to basic services, sanitation, water, and electricity. Now, it is very problematic because I'm sure you can also hear the screams from the people here in the audience today. Because that is a complete something which the people dispute. And we as a Democratic Alliance, we definitely dispute also that. And I'm saying this behind the backdrop of I am on the ground with the people, for the people, in order to make that change for 2016 that will come.
Mr. Petmo. Is it your experience that what has come out of the Salga report is in fact wrong?
Thank you, Vuyo. I stay in an area where 5 families are expected to use 1 toilet. And it's not even a flush toilet, for your information. If we alluded to the fact that our municipality has got almost every fortnight a service delivery protest. Now, if the report of Salga is anything to go with, why the service delivery protests? There are no services in Lerato Park. There are no services in Ivory Park. Even the ANC people who are sitting here today, they are suffering under what we are saying now. There is no services where they stay. They know it for a fact. So what the picture that the mayor is creating is definitely different with the reality on the ground.
117 million rand is being given to the province for this eradication of buckets system. Now, Richie's bucket system is not being eradicated. 80% of Richie's people is still sitting with a bucket system. That's what we are talking about. Now, when we're coming back, when you are saying there's service delivery, and by the way, let me make first this point. The ANC will not be there. We will contest the ANC taking part in these elections in Plaajte. Because why they had registered late, they're still fighting with lists. They had not registered on time. So we're coming to that. We will challenge them. Very important point. So that 63% will not be there, that it will be 0%. We will come to that and we will challenge the ANC if they accept it. Not online, not even by hard copy did they register 5 o'clock, the 2nd of June. So that is very important what we are saying today here for the people of Plaajte. And we had witnesses as parties on that issue. Now the EFF will making sure, that all people have access to basic services, and we will take the money and making sure that we spend the money where our poor people is and deliver services.
Okay. Let's take a few questions from...
What the mayor is saying is not true. Electricity is high in this municipality. Even if you go to Halishiwa, you go to Rodepan, you go to Beaconsfield, the indigents are the ones that are suffering. Because our elder people, they are getting money from SASA. The municipality is blocking the electricity. Then when our elder people go to the Plaajte municipality, they say you must pay 700. Where are they going to get that money? So all I want to know, the mayor must tell us, what are they going to do with this incident that is happening in this municipality of Plaajte? Thank you.
Mr. Moluse?
I think it is important that we must separate the formal settlements to informal settlements. Now, the statistics that I have in front of me with regard to Richie is that Sidibeng Waters is currently installing 465 water and sanitation in that area. And they've already completed 165 stands in Freedom Park.
In 2011, they came up with a turnaround strategy by Operation Clean Audit by 2014. And yet we are sitting and the mayor come to this studio, to this hall and say that he is proud they got an unauthorized audit. An unauthorized audit, it shouldn't have been, with findings of wasteful expenditure and unauthorized expenditure. By now, he should have come here to say we achieved our turnaround strategy by 2014 already.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor.
In Plaajte municipality, for almost a decade, including herself, she was there, they had 10 disclaimers. We are now currently sitting with an unqualified report.
Thank you very much. Let's get a question from the DA.
Thank you. Dennis from the ANC.
I would like to direct a question. I'm not going to bother with COPE and EFF because I'm sure they're not going to even feature anyway. So I see the DA is carrying placards to say stop corruption. But now recently, all over the newspapers, there was an article to say that members of the DA were found guilty of corruption in a court of law at the legislature. Now, and they were not even the ruling party at the time. Now my question to the DA is, how can we trust you with our money in the municipality if you are already stealing when you are not governing? Thank you.
Hello?
Vuyo, you see, thank you. Vuyo, I am completely confused. And I would also like to invite the member in the audience. In the DA, we don't talk, we walk our talk. You see, and I think it is for that reason why as the DA we can talk about corruption. The member here refers to something which me, in my capacity as a provincial leader of the DA in the province, that I am not aware about. But I would like to invite the member here present to say publicly and openly, my dear friend, you are more than welcome. If there is any matter that you would like to raise regarding to corruption, then we are more than welcome to take that up. And let me say this.
Okay, let's leave it there. Let's get a question from the DA.
Thank you for the opportunity. Thanks for the opportunity. My question is to the leader of the DA. On the topic of corruption, we have a huge problem in this province that you only get a job, especially as a young person, if you are a card-carrying member of the ANC. My question is, what is the DA going to do differently when they come into power? Not if, but when.
Hello?
Thank you very much for the question. You see, we also need to understand as to where does this whole thing come from. As a DA, we don't thumb suck when you refer to matters. We are factual. Now, recently, we have seen the outcomes of this province as well, and I need to start there, because the lady was referring to the issue of cadre deployment. You see, part of the reason why municipalities in the Northern Cape are underperforming, because we have seen that only 2 district municipalities, it's Francis Bart as well as ZF Ngao, they are the only 2 municipalities who got clean audits. And it really surpasses my understanding how the mayor, I think the mayor is bragging over the fact that this municipality came out of a 10-year disclaimer. We must ask the question, who was in government? It was the ANC that was in government. We need to start there. Second to none is also the issue of part of the reason why many municipalities are underperforming. It's purely because it's cadres that are being deployed in these municipalities. What the DA, however, will do, we will make sure that in the event where people are being appointed, people will be appointed purely on skills, on qualifications, and purely on merit. And the issue of cadre deployment is actually the issue, the cancer that robs our young people the opportunity for them to get jobs.
Thank you very much.
So those are the issues that we will start concentrating on.
Well, time to take another quick break. This debate, of course, continues on the other side of this.
Is there a difference between a Ponzi, a pyramid scheme, and a stokvel, or this particular one, which the representative called an alternative financial system?
It's got its own currency. It's got its own banking system.
How do you even trace? The minute there's no track record, the minute there's no banking transactions,
It means that we are talking about something that is floating in the air.
It's a system of mutual donation exchange.
30% return on investment, Clive. Is that even a reality here in South Africa? Are they perhaps blessers in disguise?
I'm not going to mention anything about blessers.
One other person has been shot dead and another is in a critical condition in hospital.
The CRL has laid charges against controversial televangelist Paseka Motsoneng.
More than 1.3 million South Africans have been added in the past 2 registration weekends.
The International Monetary Fund warns that policy uncertainty could dampen economic growth in South Africa.
And all eyes are on the new Bok coach, Alistair Coetzee, his challenge to keep everyone in the country happy.
Welcome back. It's the Sunday Live Battlegrounds 2016 election debates brought to you by SABC News. Remember, you can be part of these conversations. The hashtag, of course, is elections on SABC and SABC elections. Gentlemen, we've run out of time, and I'm going to ask you to make your concluding remarks. But I would like each and every one of you to really speak to perhaps the 4 or 5 issues that everyone seems to agree are the most important when it comes to running municipalities, and tell us how, in a nutshell, you would deal with these issues if you were to be elected to govern this municipality after the 3rd. How are you going to put people first? How are you going to ensure that you deliver a basket of basic services? How are you going to ensure that we practice good governance? How are you going to ensure that there's sound financial management and you are able to build resilient public institutions? Let me start with the EFF this time around.
Thank you. We are the Economic Freedom Fighters People's Municipality. Well, making sure, and I want to repeat this one, that everyone had access to basic services. Secondly, that the land being available in this municipality of Plaajte, a lot of land is available. We will make sure that people have access to land. You see, you can't just at the end of it saying that there's now town establishment must happen. Now town establishment is the responsibility of the municipality, the mayor and the councillors. Now our councillors will move around these communities of making sure each and every month they must contact with the community and have meetings with the communities.
Thank you, Bro. COPE will appoint skilled and experienced professionals who can improve productivity, guarantee service delivery, and make the use of consultants redundant. Ensure transparent and open recruitment processes in appointing municipal officials. Implement highly effective financial management procedures and controls as set out in the Municipal Finance Management Act with no deviation from its provisions. Protect senior public servants from political principles so that they are not coerced into committing corruption activities on their behalf.
Thank you very much. Hello?
Vuyo, as a DA, when we say that we will create more jobs, we will make sure that we invest in the infrastructure that provides a conducive environment so that jobs can be created. We will also make sure that we create an EPWP which will benefit all the recipients and not ANC people only. We will also make sure that we make local government more responsive. In other words, we'll make sure that councillors, they conduct regular meetings, and also to make sure that stakeholders and other concerns are also taken care of. We will provide better services by fixing potholes, unlike what we see now currently happens in Plaajte. We will also upgrade informal settlements. We will also make sure that weekly refuses will be collected. We will stop corruption. And we will make sure that councillors and other public representatives, they do not participate in the recruitment of EPWP situations.
Well, Vuyo, I think Plaajte is in the right path. That is why we are saying together we'll be advancing the people's power in every community. And we are committed to ensure that we create an environment that would be conducive to create jobs for our people. We have clearly demonstrated that by improving our bulk infrastructure. We have a university now, right here, Plaajte University. And that is a program that we are going to follow to ensure that our children go to the university and study.
Thank you very much. Well, every Sunday, 6 o'clock here on SABC 1 and the SABC News Channel 404. It's Battlegrounds 2016. That's where you find us. Do join us again next week at 6 o'clock on this same channel.
News Today provide news updates giving a wealth of knowledge. Breaking stories and crossing live for you. We follow business developments intensely. Experts and analysts tackle all challenging issues for you. We cover stories locally and abroad to keep you informed. We cover all sporting codes just for you. We are sure to give you weather to be ready for the day. Stay tuned to News Today at 3 p.m. from Monday to Friday on SABC News.
Rooted in African folklore, Orisha's journey is a fantasy tale about a little girl